This is the OnePlus Nord CE6 Lite, and in this long-term review, I'm going to be telling you all the things that are good, great, bad about this smartphone, and by the end of the video, you can come to a conclusion if you should buy this smartphone or not. So without wasting any precious time, let's begin. Now, before starting this video, I want to address the elephant in the room. Now, this smartphone launched at 23,000 rupees, which was already higher, but right now it is 26,000 rupees. And it's not only this phone, like literally all the phones have jumped up in price, like literally a lot. So I want you to keep one thing in mind. So if there was no RAM and storage price increase, I think this smartphone would have definitely been priced around 19,000 rupees, nothing more than that. But since this is not 18 or 19,000 rupees, we will be addressing this review based on this being 26,000. Now let's start off with all the great things about the smartphone, and first is the performance. Now this is powered by the Dimensity 7400 Apex, and this model is the 6GB RAM variant with 128GB of UFS 3.1 storage. And for the most part, this here is a pretty smooth smartphone. Now even after doing a lot of multitasking, casually browsing the web, but for a very long time gaming and all that stuff, this smartphone was pretty smooth. And in my entire usage, I actually experienced stutter only twice. It was not lag and all, just stutter, like the animations were a little stuttery, and that happened only twice. But other than that, this smartphone was really smooth. And when it comes to gaming, this smartphone can do that really well. So in games like BGMI and Call of Duty, you can actually get 90 FPS. In Genshin Impact, definitely 60 FPS. And in smaller titles, you can even reach up to 144 FPS. And to do all this, all you need to do is lower the graphics settings to the least possible, and if you do that, you will get consistent frame rates like these. So I made a dedicated gaming review. It will be in the cards here, so make sure you check that out. But overall, if you're planning to game on this device, you can definitely do that. Again, just lower the settings. And the best part is that this smartphone doesn't heat up. Now that, my friends, is very important. There's no thermal throttling, nothing of those sorts. It has really good heat management, and of course, thanks to the plastic back, it doesn't conduct heat as much as glass does. So overall, considering the price segment, this here is a super solid performer. You are not going to be disappointed. And of course, Oxygen OS also contributes a lot to the smoothness. Next up, the battery life. In this smartphone, you get a 7000 mAh battery, and this here is a monster. On light usage, you can easily get 2 days of solid usage, like 2 working days without any problem. And even if you are a heavy user, like constant 5G is on, or you're constantly playing games or doing all your work on this, randomly switching between apps here and there, the smartphone can comfortably end the day with around, say, roughly 20 to 30% of battery life without any issues. And that is the advantage of having a bigger battery. You can, really go hard on the smartphone usage and still it would survive for long. And along with this, you get a 45 watt charger. Now, this is not the highest capacity, so you can expect this battery to charge completely, say within 2 hours or so. It will take that long since this is a smaller capacity battery, but I'm happy you get a battery, so that is great. So overall, when it comes to battery life, this smartphone is amazing. Next up, the cameras. Now before talking about the cameras, let me just tell you one thing. At the back, it might look like there are 3 cameras, but there's actually one working camera. The other is a depth sensor, and the other one is just there for the looks. It is not a triple camera rear setup. It is just a single usable camera. But that 50 megapixel camera is actually pretty good one for the price. The pictures are sharp, crisp, the colors are good, and there is a pleasant saturation bump. It's not overdone or anything. Even the dynamic range is really good. There's no overblown highlights, and there's enough detail in the shadows. But when it comes to super complex lighting, it definitely can't handle that. And of course, it's not a smartphone meant for high-end photography, but I mean, considering the price, I think it is good. And when it comes to portrait shots, it really does have really good edge detection, and it has good background separation. But in scenarios where the subject has similar colors to the background, the edge detection may not work the best. Now again, it doesn't happen always, it's like 2 out of 10 times, so I still think it is good. Now even the video output is really good and shows similar traits to that of what photos show. The videos are sharp, crisp, and actually they are pleasant looking. Focusing is on point, so there's no focus hunting. And one thing I noticed that the highlights sometimes gets blown out, but it's super rare. Now in complex situation, you can notice the balancing between the highlights and low lights is not that great, but still considering this here is not a camera focused smartphone, again I think the output is really nice and I'm very happy with it. So under well lit conditions, you can comfortably use this as your media taking device. It can take videos for even say reels or even YouTube, so I think you are sorted out there. So what about low light situations? Now be it the photos or videos, the colors and dynamic range is pretty good in low light. The subjects are well lit and you can happily post them on social media without any issue. But if you're pixel peeping, you might definitely notice that the output is softer compared to well lit images. But I think it is still impressive. And overall, I actually like the 50 megapixel back camera. Now the front facing camera is also pretty good. The images have good colors and it's sharp. Now I just wish it was a little higher than 8 megapixels for a more flexible file image. Because once you zoom in a lot, then you might notice it's not that sharp. There's not much detail to work with. But even in low light, you can get really good output without much loss in detail. The front facing videos are also good with a good amount of detail, and even low light is good. Now one problem that I noticed with the selfie camera, especially in videos, is that it struggles a bit with highlights. So any harsh light in the background will be blown out. It will be harsh to look at. And it's just the camera trying to brighten up the subject by blowing out the background. So that processing isn't the most efficient here. And apart from that, one thing I noticed was that the camera interface has a slight jitter at times. There's no shutter lag or anything, but I really noticed slight jitters in the UI at times. Not always, but super rarely. So overall, I'm very happy with this camera and the output is definitely good considering the price range of this smartphone. You really do get really nice images. But I'm really sad that the back, even though it shows like 3 cameras, it's actually only 1. There's no ultra wide or telephoto. So now considering the price hike, yeah, really can't blame them. Next up is the display. Now I know this is not AMOLED or anything, and this is just an LCD display. It's cost cutting methods, but this is one of the better LCD displays I've taken a look at. The images are sharp, the colors are good. Now I even compared it with an AMOLED display and the black levels were quite impressive. There was no faded black or kind of that grayish look. And actually the video doesn't do much justice. Now it's not the most brightest display and outdoor visibility is decent. The 144 refresh rate is good, but if you're someone who's coming from 120Hz display, you really won't notice that much, but I'm glad it is there. So overall, this here is a really good LCD display. You really can't blame the manufacturer right now. It is the cost cutting method they have to do to get really good smartphones out there. So yeah, because remember a few years back in phones like the CMF Phone 2 Pro, you got an AMOLED display. That was great. So you actually used to get that, but due to price increase, you don't get that here, so bad luck, but still this is one of the nicest LCD displays. Next up, the fingerprint sensor, and this here is integrated into the power button. It's very quick and works flawlessly. Now the only gripe I have is the location of the power button, because it is where your finger rests a lot. So if you're holding it a lot, of course your thumb is going to be one thing that's going to be sitting on the power button the most, and if it is not registered, it is going to buzz a lot, especially when you have it turned off. That is irritating. I really wish the location of the power button would have moved to the other side. But other than that, this here is a really quick and efficient fingerprint scanner. Next up, connectivity. So I have had no issues with connecting to 5G. Even though it has only 9 bands, the connection was actually solid. And when it comes to Bluetooth and Wi-Fi usage was really solid. When I connected Bluetooth headphones to this, the connection didn't drop, it was rock solid. So in terms of connectivity, everything is good here. And finally, box contents. Yes, this is important, especially in this price range, and since you're getting all the essentials like a charger and a case, I think the Nord CE6 Lite deserves a huge round of applause. And with that said, let's move on to the things that are good about smartphone, like things that are good but could have been better. And first is the speakers. You get a stereo speaker setup here. Now they do get loud, but at the highest volume they are not the most crispiest. They kind of have this small, like really small kind of that distorted sound. It's not like they are bad or anything, but it's not clear. You don't get that clarity. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to convey. It is not the most clearest. It definitely does get loud, the audio is legible, but at the highest volume it is not the most crispiest. So when it comes to the separation, based on my usage, it doesn't feel like 50-50. The downward firing speaker has more sound coming out of it, so that is one thing that you have to keep in mind. But overall, these are good speakers, but I really wish the tuning could have been a little more better. But other than that, yeah, I really can't complain in this price range. Next up, the build quality. Now this smartphone is a plastic build. I really can't complain anything about that. But even though it is plastic, this here is well built. Holding it in hand is really nice. It is like, it feels really solid. But even though it is well built, it is not the most comfortable to use for longer periods of time. So especially if you're using it one-handed, it has a wider footprint. So you really can't use it easily one-handedly. But of course, this is a bigger smartphone, so I really can't complain that. But the main issue that I have is that it is a top heavy smartphone. Most of the weight is focused on the top. So if you're using one-handed, after some time you can definitely feel the smartphone, just tilting a little due to it being top heavy. And of course, you get only USB 2.0. Really, again, this is something I really can't complain. So yeah, that is there. And with that said, let me tell you, there's actually nothing bad about the smartphone other than the price, but the only thing that I feel could have been avoided was the unnecessary junk in the OS. Now, Oxygen OS is amazing. Now, I'm a person who uses the OnePlus 13s, and Oxygen OS experience is amazing. But here you do get a lot of bloatware. Of course, you can delete most of them. You can, prefer not to go with them during the setup itself. But it is very annoying that you have to go through all that steps. I know they need to generate money and all that stuff, but still having so much is irritating. I really wish they can avoid that somehow. If you're making money from this, at least lower the price of the smartphone. And if I have to say something not that great of the smartphone, it would be only this. And of course, the deception of them showing like it has 3 cameras is not great. So someone who's not too techy will definitely think this is a triple camera setup. So please don't do such deceptive things. And with that said, it's time for the conclusion. Should you buy the OnePlus Nord CE6 Lite? Now that is a tricky question. And the main reason is because currently you can buy previous year's smartphones for a much lower price. And the best example is the Motorola Edge 60 Pro. And this is a smartphone which is better in every way compared to the Nord CE6 Lite. So you can get it for around 29,000 rupees, and with discounts and bank offers you can get it for 26,999. Whereas the Nord CE6 Lite, you get it for 26,000 rupees, and with discounts you can get it for around 25,000 or so. So it's basically a difference of just 1,000-2,000 rupees. But with the Motorola smartphone, you get a much powerful processor, better camera, so it's triple cameras, better front facing camera. You get 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigabytes of super fast storage. You get a much better display, and you get all that military certification for durability, and you even get a 6,000 mAh battery. Of course, it's not 7,000 mAh, but with AMOLED display and it's much more efficient display technology, you are definitely going to get a really good battery experience there too. So overall, it is a much better smartphone. So if you can spend like 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees extra, you can get the Motorola Edge 60 Pro, which is an amazing smartphone. You do get last year's smartphones which are much more better for around the same price. If you have a budget around say 25,000 rupees, I would say go that route. Now the OnePlus Nord CE6 Lite is a really good smartphone, but sadly the timing of its launch is wrong. This is not a smartphone that is meant to be priced at 26,000. Rather, this had to be priced say around 18,000, 17,000 rupees. So I think it is really tough luck. Again, this here is a good smartphone, but this is not what it should be priced at. I really like this smartphone, but for this price, I would say go the other way I mentioned. So thanks for watching, and this here is Suman signing off once again. Catch you later.